Looking back, was trading Mikko Rantanen the worst decision the Avs could have made? This is your Denver Sports Daily for May 21st.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
Back in January, the Avs shocked the hockey world and most Denver fans by trading Mikko Rantanen to the Carolina Hurricanes in return for Jack Drury and Martin Necas. And they also got some draft capital, sure, but was it worth it? Because then in March, the Hurricanes traded Rantanen again to the Dallas Stars, which obviously came back to haunt the Avs as he recorded a hat trick in Game 7 to send the Avalanche home. And not only a hat trick, a third period hat trick in Game 7. The Avs had it in the bag. They could be where the Stars are right now, but they lost because of the player that they traded because they didn't want to give him a little bit more money than he was asking for. Now that right there should be enough to give the Avs front office some sleepless nights. But it's even worse knowing that he's having an outstanding postseason as a whole. In 13 games, Mikko's recorded 9 goals and 10 assists and has led the Stars to the Western Conference Finals. And to what turned out to be a terrible trade, the Avs now have to navigate what's looking like a very rough offseason. With Gabe Landeskog returning to the ice, the Avs will have to take on his salary, leaving them with about $8.7 million in cap space to address a 7-player unrestricted free agent list that includes players like Jonathan Drouin, Ryan Lindgren, and Brock Nelson. Now, Lindgren and Nelson were, of course, trade acquisitions made this year. And if the Avs lose those players, first of all, those players were supposed to be the guys to bring them back to the Stanley Cup. If they lose them, they could be watching their championship window close right in front of their eyes. And it all happens because they didn't want to give Mikko Rantanen what he was asking for. They didn't want him to be the highest paid player on the team. They didn't want to pay him more than Nathan MacKinnon. That's not a good mindset to have. When you go year by year, every single year, time moves faster in the NHL, in every pro sport. It's, you got to look year after year. Cap goes up, money goes up, inflation happens at a higher rate in the NHL, in every pro sport. You pay players more based on what the average salary is every year, and every year it grows. So what he was asking for really wasn't that insane. And now seeing what Mikko's doing in the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals, they should have paid him. They should have. I was angry when this trade happened, and then Marty Necas and Jack Drury came out, and they were both playing at a very high level. They were both looking great, but there was still a part of me that was missing Mikko Rantanen. There was still a part of me that was thinking, this team is missing something. It's missing something that's going to help them go from a good team in the West in the Central Division to a Stanley Cup contender. They should have been a contender. They were looking like a contender, especially towards the end of the season. They had a great few months after the trade deadline. And really where the biggest mistake of it lies is trading Mikko to Carolina in January rather than waiting until the trade deadline when you can trade him then. It was a bad decision all the way around. It was bad timing. It was poor planning for the Avalanche. They should have paid him. They really should have just paid him, because if he's doing if he was doing for the Avalanche what he's doing right now for the Stars in the playoffs, we could still be talking about a Stanley Cup run for the Avalanche. It's a real unfortunate thing that happened, and it sucks that right now in May, we're still talking about the ramifications of this trade, and next year we'll still be talking about it because it was so big and it came back to bite the Avs in the butt in the worst way possible. Now, moving on, we now know when the Broncos will play in their lone home preseason game. The Broncos will take the field at Empower for the first time in week 2 of the preseason on August 16th against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, they'll also be practicing with the Cardinals earlier that week on Thursday 14th, a few joint practices, and then they'll be playing in their first preseason game. This is the second year in a row that the Cardinals and Broncos have played in the preseason, as last year, the Denver Broncos beat Arizona 38-12 thanks to Zach Wilson's 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. That performance right there is what actually made Zach Wilson my favorite to be the starting QB for the Broncos. But of course, Bo Nix came in and he was just incredible all the way around. So you can't really be mad at how it ended up turning out. Now, what this is a great opportunity for rookies like Jahdae Barron and RJ Harvey to familiarize themselves with Empower Field and Broncos country, get out on the field, get in the locker room, feel what it's like to be in a game day situation at Broncos in Empower Field. This is their first chance to take the field there, and they're going to get out there, just kind of make their plays, play how they do. I'm excited to see how RJ Harvey is, because if you watch the show, I'm not a fan of the pick at all. I want to see if he's actually as good as people are hyping him up to be, because I don't think he is. But Jahdae Barron, going to be a great cornerback in this league. Again, very excited to see what he does in his first time at Empower Field. Now, the first preseason game will actually happen in San Francisco the week before, during the Broncos joint practice with the 49ers. So it's going to happen 49ers, and then the Cardinals will be week 2, August 16th. Going to be fun to see. I want to go to that game. Preseason games have such a fun energy around them. You'd think that they wouldn't, but you walk into that stadium for the first time of the year, and it just feels like it's all coming back. Football's back. So being able to talk about that, getting to see those guys, RJ Harvey, Jahdae Barron, taking the field for the first time in Empower Field, will be a lot of fun. Now, moving on, the Rockies cannot catch a break on and off the field. Now, the Rockies are having one of, if not the worst statistical season of all time, and one fan is making their season even worse. And I say fan with quotation marks around it, because I don't know if we can really say if he's a fan anymore. Timothy Rokel was attending a Rockies game in 2023 when he was struck by a foul ball while sitting in a box suite. Apparently, Rokel suffered catastrophic and permanent injuries to his right eye during the game, according to his attorneys, and he is suing the Rockies for damages for his, the catastrophic and permanent injuries that he suffered to his right eye. Now, Rokel's attorneys claim that he was unable to see the ball due to architectural elements, including the ceiling of the luxury box and overhang of the stadium's bleacher seats. Kind of crazy. I mean, you're suing a baseball team because you were hit by a foul ball because you couldn't see the ball. I don't know if that's really going to go over well. I don't know if it'll go to trial. I doubt it. That seems like one of those things that will kind of get brushed under. It doesn't really seem like anything too big for the Rockies to deal with. But in the lawsuit, it states that it was not physically possible for Rokel to see the foul ball from the seat in question. Yeah, there's a lot of seats like that in every stadium around the country. There's obstructed view seats in almost every single stadium, no matter what team or what sport you're going to. Now, a specific amount of damages hasn't been disclosed, but the lawsuit does seek a jury trial. He's going to trial, and he wants a jury there to say if the Rockies are at fault for this. Now, it is really hard to believe that a season that started 8-40 can somehow get worse, but the Rockies continue to prove me wrong. Now, moving on, Michael Malone may have taken a shot at Nikola Jokic in his first game as an ESPN analyst. The Timberwolves took on the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals yesterday, and after the game, Malone said something that may rub Nuggets fans in the wrong way. He said, quote, "Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed why he's the MVP." Now, if you watch the video, it seems a bit strange. It seems a bit harsh. I mean, this guy was coaching the Nuggets less than 2 months ago, and he was very clear that he wanted Nikola Jokic to be the MVP. Again, this is the same guy who said literally 2 months ago that Nikola Jokic, quote, wins the MVP 10 times out of 10 in a scenario like this. Now, it did seem like Malone was coming from a realistic point of view. I'll say that from his body language, watching the way he was talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in that interview. And it came, with the sense of, kind of like that. Like it was like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander showed why he's the MVP, because most likely he will be the MVP. It will be announced tonight. We're probably going to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander get awarded that trophy. But it's still strange coming from a guy that raised Nikola Jokic. He brought him up into the league, coached him to 3 MVPs and a championship, and is now saying things like this about a player who knocked the Nuggets out of the playoffs. It's just hard. It's hard to hear that. And I don't think it's necessarily a shot at Nikola Jokic. I think it may be more of a shot at the team, if anything. I don't think he has anything against Nikola Jokic. There's no reason for him to have anything against Jokic. But something like that just feels so much dirtier and gross and rough to hear it from the coach who brought Nikola Jokic up, rather than the talking heads over at ESPN who say that kind of stuff all the time just to get a reaction. This one felt more real. It's a real shame that we had to hear it from Michael Malone, being that he literally brought Nikola Jokic up in the league. Now, that's going to do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I will be back with you guys again tomorrow. I do want to read some of your comments. He didn't want to be here. He wanted to be the man on another team instead of second fiddle on the Avalanche. Fair. I feel like he did want to be here. There was some stuff that came out, especially after he was traded, that he didn't really get a chance to talk with the team at all. He said he wanted to be here. There were 3 teams or something like that he was going to sign with in the offseason, and the Avalanche were on that list. He wanted to be an Av, but it was really just the fact that he couldn't get them to see the way that he was seeing it. He wanted a certain contract, and the Avs didn't want to pay him more than this amount. He wanted up here, and neither team was budging at all. There was probably some miscommunication between his agent and the team's agent. Things like that really kind of caused a bad taste probably in his mouth. But again, it sucks. And even if he didn't want to be here, they could have kept him through this season. And when you're on a team in a pro league, you're going to play your heart out in any game. So the fact that he's playing at such a high level for a team that he wasn't even a part of at the start of this season, he's going out there putting up third period hat tricks against his former team. It just hurts so much more because even if he was on the Avs and not performing at a high level, he wouldn't be on the Stars playing his heart out against the Avalanche in the first round. And if he was still here, there's a very good chance that the Avalanche would be in the Western Conference Finals right now. So that's where it is. If he doesn't want to be here, sure, he doesn't want to be here. But he didn't have a choice for the season. The Avalanche made the choice to get him off of the team. So that's where my head's at with that one. But I'll do it for you, Denver Sports Daily. I will see you all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.